Hey, I'm by myself. There she is. That was about to be awkward.
Oh my god.
I mean, I was still gonna go live, as you saw. I was already going live, but it would have
I
been
was
if I was just sitting here talking to myself.
I was like, what? Why is it 7 o'clock?
I was like, dang, she cutting it close. Hey, Walking Dead Eternal. Takeerah over here rolled in at 3 seconds remaining.
Ugh, this is ridiculous.
All right. Well, all you guys and ghouls, I don't know who I am. I'm 80 years old, apparently. Um, I'm a horror TV host. Um, I wish that would be an awesome job. My name's Punky Brewster. That's not my intro, but that's what I said tonight. So that's what it is right now. Um, I hope you had an excellent spooky season. Doesn't have to end there, you know. You can just stay spooky. It's fine. You can be spooky all the year round. Um, and to anyone who is celebrating Dave, David.
David.
David said I have not and probably still won't watch this show, but I've come here for the ums and likes. You know what? Just get on out of here with that attitude.
We're
Get
gonna
on out.
need you to go take a look at Sir. That's what we're gonna need you to do.
Walking Dead Eternal. Okay, so I again when when I see your profile, it's like super tiny, but it looks like it's Maggie. Am I
Maggie?
right? You do love Maggie, so that checks out. What I was going to say was, if you are celebrating, I don't want to say celebrating. Let's say honoring. If you're honoring Dia de los Muertos, I hope that you had a relaxing evening so far and that your ofrenda is all ready to go. Um, enjoy that time with family. In America, we just slap happy onto the beginning of everything, but it's not really a happy. It's not a happy
Janessa.
occasion. Hey, Chanessa, it's not a happy occasion. It's a
Yeah,
honoring of
everything's
the
happy.
past.
Happy
You know,
this, happy that.
um, I mean, I like you can focus on the fact that celebration of life, right? But predominantly, it's a day of reverence instead. I myself just read in the Farmer's Almanac. That's right. Who am I that I'm reading the Farmer's Almanac? I'm not sure. But in the Farmer's Almanac, I read about All Souls Day, which is tomorrow. It's the 2nd of November. It's a Celtic and English tradition that I was unaware of, despite that being very much my heritage. My grandmother was from Ireland, my father was from England. And so I have ordered the makings for soul cakes, which I'm going to give it a shot and bake some up tonight and take them to work tomorrow. Just for funsies. Just for funsies. So, like I said, it doesn't have to end. You can stay spooky. You can just keep being spooky. It's fine.
I do.
I like it. I like it year round. Um I see now I'm hearing all my ums. Dave, I don't I didn't like it. I didn't like
David,
it.
you came here and started trouble.
I don't like it. Walking Dead Eternal says this episode got me. Well, Margaret's part got me this episode. Yes. Yes. All right. Let's get into this. We're breaking
Let's
down
do
the
this.
5th episode of season 1 of Found on NBC, entitled Missing While Undocumented. And Takeerah, what is your thought? You only have one thought. You're
Um,
only allowed to have one thought about about this episode.
I thought that this episode was pretty fantastic, which is what I keep finding myself saying every week.
I'm gonna need you to look at some like some synonyms.
I know, right? Um, everything's awesome or fantastic. No, like there were some like I always try to pay attention to the smaller moments because sometimes to me those matter more than like the larger moments in life. And those
Sure.
like smaller moments between Sir and Gabby get me every single time. Every single time.
You're obsessed.
I'm obsessed.
You are obsessed. So which piece of this would you like to focus on first?
Okay, so usually I watch twice anyway, but like I absolutely had to watch twice this time
There's a lot going on in this
because
episode.
there's so much going on. And the first like watch, I was just all wrapped up in Margaret, and I couldn't even like focus on the other stuff that was going on because Margaret.
Okay, before we get started, and I will let you pick. I will let you lead whatever section you want to go towards first. If you want to talk about Margaret first, we can. I do want to just preface with one tiny little detail. I this was not a two-parter, but
Oh my God, right.
but at the very beginning, Gabby calls looking for more information on what's his name because I cannot remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
But the kid who is in the coma due to the gunshot wound that was inflicted in the previous episode. I mentioned that there was no way that that storyline was over.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to find out more about that. I think this is going to
Continue, yeah.
continue to come out.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if the trafficking is going to have something to do with Gabby, if there's going to be some sort of tie to Sir there, but it's interesting.
I
It is
kind of
interesting.
feel
Tony,
like,
thank you,
oh yeah,
Janice.
Tony.
Thank you.
I feel like maybe we might get another one that somehow is involved in trafficking, and then
Wrap this story up that way. That makes
Mhm.
sense. That makes sense. Well, you know, I don't love to theorize a ton, so we'll just move on from that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, where would you like to go first?
So I kind of want to go to Zeke first, actually.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I
Okay,
was
okay.
so excited to see like them at not all of them, but first look, my mind just completely went blank. First, oh my gosh, the L girl.
Lacey. Oh my goodness, she lost it for a
I'm like
second.
100 today, y'all. I'm like 100 years old today. Um, First Lacey went over there, and then she was like hanging out and making them eat weird stuff and falling asleep on the couch, which I just thought was awesome because there's like true friendship and camaraderie and a family feeling really starting to happen
Mm-hmm.
because then at the end of the episode, Don was there, and I was like, that is so awesome.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice, and it was nice to have him admit
Yeah.
that he does feel some type of way.
Mhm.
That's not what I mean. I'm not shipping them, but
Oh no,
he
no,
has
no,
deeper
no.
feeling. He has deeper feelings than he lets
Yeah.
on to. I do really like that for him. I is the inkling right from the previous episode about Lacey and Zeke?
I
I
don't
felt
I,
like, remember we had mentioned in the previous episode, I felt like
yeah.
there was a moment. I wasn't sure. She clearly wants to spend more time with him.
Yeah, she does.
So I love that they both declined that it's not what you think it is.
Mhm.
But it is interesting. Walking Dead Eternal says the funniest thing I've heard Gabby say was chew gum in class, spit it
Spit
out.
it out.
There's a great line. It's a great line. Janessa says Zeke and Don are besties now. It's canon. Facts. 100% true. And
Mhm.
Walking Dead is apparently my moderator. Thanks there, Dave. He's reminding you, excuse me, he's reminding you Please like this live stream. If you're watching this, please give it a like. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Because guess what, folks? I don't know what happened, but I gained 2 subscribers in the last day.
Ooh, ooh.
We're at 73 now. We're almost there. We're almost to 100 as my goal. I have 2 months left to complete this goal. So
My goal is 20.
let's keep it going. Oh, that's a good first goal. You gotta start somewhere. My first goal wasn't 100. That would have like slayed me. I would have felt horrible about it. Okay, so Zeke's story was nice. Maybe there's something going on with Lacey. Not sure.
Maybe.
Don and Zeke are besties now. I think that kind of wraps that part up.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot there. There was not a lot there. Okay, do you want to go Don, Margaret, or Sir and Gabby, or just the straight up storyline, which was also a convoluted mess?
Don.
Don. Okay, we're going to go for Don. All right. All right. Where's Mitchell when I need him? Donnie boy. Okay, so we got a little bit more information about Don. He was held captive. So POW.
3 years. Whew.
POW, I'm assuming. Yes, Dave. All of my success is due to you. You punk. You punk. But thank you. But thank you. Maybe it was. So yeah, so Don is not well in this episode.
I didn't even recognize him when he
The disheveled hair. The disheveled hair, though. Quite a look. Very tired looking. So, okay, so do you watch on Peacock for the second watch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On Peacock, there is a feature. So I watch everything with subtitles because we have a really loud HVAC system here. You can probably hear it in the background. It's obscenely loud. So I can't hear super well when the TV's on always, and I don't like turning it all the way up because then the HVAC turns off and then it's like so loud. So I tend to watch things with subtitles, but I've done this for years. I don't know, something about reading and hearing it. I never have any questions then. I love it.
Me too. It drives me crazy because Peacock turns off my subtitles and I have to like go in and turn them back on.
Yes, it turns off. But here's the thing. It's always set to on.
Yeah.
But they're just not showing up for some reason. So in my trying to figure out what happened with the subtitles, where are they? I clicked on, it's like the closed caption for people who are blind. So it literally gives like the actions of the people on screen. So it'll be like, Gabby crosses her arms. It's like a very mellow voice.
Really?
Yeah, it'll be like Gabby will deliver a line and it'll be like, Gabby crosses her arms, looks down, then looks up at him, and then it continues. It's wild. I love it. So I listened to the episode. Well, I mean, I watched it, but I also listened to it that way. And when Don is in the boardroom after he's spoken to Gabby and she's like, please go home and sleep. There's a whole thing where it's like, Don plays with his phone, then puts his arms on his head, and it goes through this whole thing. And then it goes, he braces himself on the table, looks up, the low lighting reflects how weary he is. It was wild. I was like, these are pieces of information I did not know that I needed.
You're going to make me watch like that from now on.
Everyone in your house is going to be like, what is happening? So it was a very interesting, and it did point out some things that maybe I wouldn't have noticed, because it pointed out the fact that when he did look up, he had like really severe bags under his eyes. So they had done makeup and try to make him look more tired. Janessa says, I legit didn't recognize him when he came on screen. Boy's a hot mess.
A hot freaking mess.
Yeah, he was rough. So here's the thing. Not only is his husband out of town, husband, they're married, right? Yeah, they refer to him as his husband. Not only is his husband out of town, but his husband is also his therapist. Unethically, inappropriately is also his therapist. And so now his therapist is also gone. That's what I'm saying. Where's Mitchell when I need him? You know? Mitchell would be all over this. So Walking Dead Eternal says, yeah, subtitles give you more information on the episode. Well, you're just gonna have to try this closed caption business. Because it gave me all of the information. Janessa says, I tweeted the same thought last night. I saw your tweet last night and I was like, oh God, what have we done? What have we done? We've started this rumor. We've started this this rumor that we're not sure if it's accurate or not. And now it's spreading. We all believe he's husband therapist, which is so inappropriate. I love it.
I'm pretty sure we're all right.
Demaine Davis is not going to retweet you anymore. If she finds out we've been talking so much trash about Don's therapist husband. So Don is dealing with the fact that he's alone, which this at first I was like, dude, it's not that big of a deal. Like, yeah, you've been through some trauma, but it's not that big of a deal. The more I thought about it, the more I thought, okay, that's not a justified reaction on my part. Because trauma bonding is a real thing. Very, very real. And to know that they have bonded in some way through this trauma, which I'm not saying, again, maybe was not appropriate, but it is what it is now, right? I assume he's not still his therapist. I hope not. I mean, maybe he is. Then we have to talk. But if he's not, fine. You know, they may be met inappropriately, but love is love. Who can stop it?
If he's still his therapist,
I can't with that information. I can't with that information. It's so inappropriate. It's so unethical. I cannot. But trauma bonding is a real thing. And Don obviously has really been through some stuff. Being held hostage for 3 years is no joke. Hey, Richie, you're just out of frame. Yeah, there you go. Not Takeerah's husband just laying down in the back. Chanessa said he wasn't going to therapy anymore in episode 2. Okay, great. So now he's just not seeking.
That's because he's married
assistance because he married his only therapist. So there's that. What is okay? We're gonna drop it. I can't keep doing this every episode. We can't keep talking about this. It's ridiculous. We all know it's weird, but we're gonna move on. I apologize, everyone. I'm still overcoming whatever this is. So, my face. I'm still dealing with the fact that I have this face. So Don is having a rough time. Now, I could see not wanting to be alone out of fear, potentially, especially when you're really heavily bonded to someone. Now, the reason I say this is because I myself, here's a little bit of extra information for you folks, you fine folks out there, all you guys and ghouls, as I said earlier. I was in a domestic abuse situation for 8 years. It was tough. I am out of it now. I am happy. I'm okay. Everything's okay. I promise. I have a therapist and I do the whole thing. I'm good. But when I got out of that situation, I met my husband when all of that stuff was wrapping up. So I had already ended the relationship, but there was still a lot of phone calling, a lot of phone calling, a lot of I'm sorry, that really threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
I should not have looked over that. A lot of phone calling, a lot of bothering me, a lot of showing up at my house unannounced, a lot, and I had to get a restraining order. And during that filing for the restraining order, that was right around the time that I met my now husband. He called the police for me. He helped me through a lot of that. And I think some people could look at that and say, like, oh, well, he took advantage of you in that time when you were really vulnerable. But that's not at all what it was. I promise you that's not what it was. And he really did help me work through a lot of stuff at a time in which I was not seeking proper assistance. I had seen a therapist in between that time, and she was not great. She told me some really messed up stuff that I've talked about online before that's not okay. So I wasn't really ready for that, but I was ready to open up to someone. And so I opened up to my husband. And so through that trauma of like me having to file a restraining order when my husband and I we were just dating, and it was all online. So it felt safe because it was like away, you know? I could like date him without. Anyway, at that time, I had to be alone a lot. And I had a really hard time with that. I really struggled with that. And then you add in a couple years later, I had a lot of health condition stuff. And I'm crying myself to sleep. I don't want to sleep in a bed by myself because I'm afraid I'll die in the middle of the night or someone will kill me. It's like those are the two options. Sleeping is not an option. It's you will die either because someone will kill you or just it'll happen spontaneously.
Are you describing my nights? Is that what you're doing right now?
It's rough. It is rough. It's not ideal. We just came here to air our baggage. Sorry, guys. You wanted to talk about found? We're not going to.
We're finding Bridget and Kira tonight is what we're doing.
So I think it's interesting because until more recently, when I've spent time by myself and I've traveled a lot in the last couple of years, and in those last couple of years, I've had to sleep by myself. That has made it easier, but it wasn't always that way. So I kind of get it. Janessa says, do we think Don hasn't spent a night alone since he married? Now, I think he has. The only reason I say that is because Gabi knew.
Immediately.
It almost seemed like maybe this has happened like once or twice before for like a day or so. Because if his husband is a therapist, he does have to go to like conventions.
I was just going to say, let me use my new profession.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, they do have to like go on these trips to ridiculous places to meet with a bunch of other therapists to hear like the head honcho therapist of all therapists talk about things. So yeah, I would say probably once a year actually he's had to be at least one night alone.
Yeah, I would guess. Medical profession requires a lot of continuing education, which is it's good. But I could really see this being something that he has to deal with. And just because it's been happening for a little while, because they haven't been married a super long time from what it sounded like. It doesn't get any easier for a while. It took me, goodness, I just had my 5th anniversary with my husband. It took me about 4 years to get to the point that I'm at now where I feel okay sleeping by myself. But here's the other thing. It's not always like that. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And then sometimes not so much. So it just depends. And if he wasn't feeling like in a super strong place when his husband left, I could see it leading to this.
I mean,
Walking Dead Eternal, thank you. That's very sweet of you to say. Sorry, I went through that. Thank you.
I do feel like as his friendship with Zeke is making him kind of accept more things about himself or about his past. And I think it's made him a little shaky.
Well, they always say when you work through trauma, it gets worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
That's always the thing, right? Because you can just float through life having just stuffed everything deep down into your ulcer. But then when you go to bring it up, all of a sudden now you're working through all of this trauma that you haven't tapped into previously or that you did, but you're like, I can't deal with that. I'm compartmentalizing. Once you scratch all that surface off and you really dig into it, it gets worse. So some of that stuff comes up. But the therapist I have now, who's great, has said that you really have to essentially go through that scenario so often that it doesn't affect you anymore. So you have to keep. So that's why here we are, friends. That's why I bring up my domestic abuse situation so frequently. You're welcome. I'm sure you love it. So it's not awkward at all. But a medical professional told me to talk about it a lot. It's good to share and know that people who have maybe gone through it too see that there is another side to it. So I hope that Dawn is working through this and that we're going to see shinier, happier Dawn.
I think this is actually a sign of him working through things, even though
Which is good.
things are a hot mess right now.
Yeah, he was rough. So I feel like that we kind of beat that part to death. I don't know that there's much else to go over with that. Okay, so let's move on to, what do you think? Do you want to do Sir and Gabby?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
She does because she's obsessed. Okay, here's my question. Here's the question I posed to all of you. The wood. This has no context for Dave, and I love that. That I'm like, the wood.
The wood.
And he's like, what? Okay, so the wood that breaks off when he's doing the pull-up, the stabby, chivy looking piece, he gives it to Gabby. So what do you think was the plan here?
I honestly knew that at some point he was going to hand it to her, but it didn't stop me from being scared crapless, sugar honey iced tealess every single time she came down there and I knew he had that damn piece of wood.
Okay. I almost felt like he never planned on hurting her, and he always planned on using this as a way to regain some trust. Which is so...
Yeah.
Like, I say these things out loud, and I'm like, how would that even be possible? But he's so delulu about everything.
Everything.
And then also, she's absolutely unhinged. So, who knows?
My favorite lines, and I probably don't know them word for word because I never do, but my favorite lines of this episode was, I made you great. You made me you. It was like, that
was
was
a good
it.
one.
Yeah.
It hit. Janessa says, I think in the moment he wanted to fight, then realized he couldn't hurt her. Oh, well, yeah. We saw last week's reaction to her being hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Genuine concern.
It was like, I don't know if y'all saw what I tweeted, but I was like, I was basically yelling at Sir, like, sit your ass down, because he wanted to show her, like, you can trust me. I've had this. I never meant to use it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he was so angry and passionate and just frustrated that he just jumps up in her face and starts like yelling at her. And I'm like, this is the opposite of whatever it is that you were trying to do.
Really, really and truly. But they're nuts. You know who gives me chills of fear? Sir, said Walking Dead Eternal. Sir is something else.
He is something else.
Oh, I saw on Twitter a lot of people talking about the workout scene.
Oh.
So we'll just get this out of the way. It's Mark Paul. I don't need to say anything else.
Yeah.
I don't need to say. I don't want to be one of those creeps who's like, hubba, do you get on looking like a... Like, he looked good. We're all thankful. Okay.
I'm just gonna say,
you meant sir. Janessa says, y'all, that laugh at the end was so dang scary.
Yes. When she was like, what's her last name?
Mosely.
I'm a Mosely, and the way he busted out laughing, I was like, wait.
Do you know something I don't know?
Yeah.
Why is this so funny to you? But that was a very creepy moment.
Mm-hmm.
Not Mark Paul pulling out the acting chops again this week.
Again, ridiculous.
I know. Never gonna be able to look at him the same.
It's like they gathered all these actors and was like, you better act like we're paying you $1 million an episode. Every episode.
We're not, though. We're
We're
not.
not.
We don't have that budget.
We are not doing that.
Walking Dead Eternal says if Sir doesn't get his Captain America looking self out of here with that workout montage, looking like Cap. I can't.
Everybody was also talking about the moment when it was the past and he was like trying to convince her to like figure out a name change and stuff like that. And like she's completely freaked out and scared and like WTF. And he's like, Kitty, like I'm so excited.
I know. It was so like weird. It was a very surreal moment. Okay, so I do want to kind of linger on that for a moment. So the flashback scene is what we're talking about, where Sir walks in on Gabi just gently fondling a picture of the Eiffel Tower. I get it. You don't want to be where you are, baby. You want to go somewhere else. I totally get it. So she's looking at a picture of the Eiffel Tower. Sir gets it in his head that, well, I mean, if you're on board now, if you're on board for this whole kidnapping and abduction thing, if you're finally on board, what's wrong with you? Then let's just head on over to Old Paris.
Yeah, Paris.
Have ourselves a fantastic time. I'm going to change my name to Eric Blair, the name of Orson Welles. And you can change your name to whatever you want, Gabi. Just pick a fun name. A fun name for us to go to Paris with. So the reason she's so terrified, okay, yes, it's creepy that he's so gung-ho on this. It's weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, for obvious reasons. However, I think the real reason that this is terrifying is because if he takes you away from the area that you know, where you know that your family is looking for you, there's even less of a chance of being rescued.
Yes, Janessa. He said some crap like, you've begun to accept our family. I was like,
our new family.
He's lost his damn mind.
I know. Well, Gabi learned how to be unhinged from the absolute goat. So, I can't. So it was unnerving. They're delivering a fair amount of exposition in each episode that I feel like the storyline is moving fairly quickly through. However, I need to know more about Annie.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I don't like that we dropped the Annie breadcrumb last episode and then didn't touch back on it. I get it. You can't blow all of it right away.
I'm trying not to make a Walking Dead reference here. This is going to be like, a dripping of like gravy in every few episodes. And then I'm hoping that we just kind of get a string at the end where she gets like the ultimate clue and then we get like that's the case. Yeah.
I hope so. But you know how this goes sometimes. This could be second season material.
Yes.
This might not even be first season material. So who knows? But it's driving me crazy. I would like to get some more info. Janessa says, I'm just thinking now, was he planning on taking Bella to Paris too? Or did he drop that after Gabi's rebellion? Yeah, that's a really good question. I think just based on the timeline, because this was 79 days or something before her escape, this Paris conversation, she did continue to be rebellious during this time. So I think maybe he thought that he could eventually wear her down to it and that getting her Bella would be a step in the right direction to get her to accept this family so that they could go travel. As though this is fun for you as an abductee, but okay. Okay, sir. That's just so weird.
It's just just all of it.
All
I
right.
keep going back to the fact that he got a child that looked mixed.
No, we're moving on. I can't anymore with him. Okay. So we have, we touched on, we didn't talk about Margaret. Hold up. We gotta talk about Margaret. Okay. Margaret's storyline. The missing tag from the missing poster. But this was tough. This was a tough pill to swallow. I think this was tough because we just had the episode where she loses her daughter officially, and we find out that she's lost the entirety of her family because she won't let this go. Then she gets her hopes up because maybe someone has information about Jamie, to just heartbreakingly find out that no one does, and that guy was a scumbag who spit out his gum in it. But like that guy, I feel bad because everyone's like, that guy's horrible. How could he do that? Okay, how many times have you like absently grabbed something and spit your gum into it?
I mean, I'm such a weirdo and I'm like super sensitive about things, and I've put those kind of signs up and made little tabs for him, and the length of time that it takes to do those things made me never rip off one that I didn't absolutely need.
Fair, but I could see just Joe Schmo doing it and not even thinking about it.
Like, oh look, a piece of scrap paper for my gum.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it was malicious in any way. It is disappointing, and it was I think the most heartbreaking line of it, it wasn't even the I can't let go of this. It was the resigning yourself to going to make more posters.
Yeah, I was like, well, wait a minute. We don't need any more posters.
Something about that line. It's like, it was one tab. You can leave it.
Right.
But she just felt like she had to do something after that disappointment. Walking Dead Eternal says, when Margaret heard the sad news, I honestly shed a tear for her. Don't give up, Margaret. I know. This is a tough story. Margaret's story is really hard. I don't know that it's going to end happy either.
I don't think
because not all of these stories can end happily. And so far, most of them have, with the exception of last week's Missing While Upon, they've ended pretty happily.
And I just feel like if they want to try to kind of stick to reality, like the amount of time that has gone by, that would mean that someone took your kid with the intention of starting a family. And I just feel like they usually do that with younger children, like much younger children.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just don't know that it's going to end well. And I hate that. I hate that that's maybe the storyline that we're following. But like I said, they can't all end in sunshine. They just can't. It's just not realistic. And this show is trying to showcase that if people would try harder to focus on these missing people, that they could be found. But that's not going to be the case 100% of the time.
I think that, the most we might get is them finding a body.
Which at least is closure.
Yeah.
But I really would hate that for her, because that means she would have spent the last 13 years just kissing her whole life goodbye. All right. Enough of that depressing note. Okay. Let's move on to the plotline for the whole show. This show's plotline had to do with Sasha and her brother Carlos and fake Carlos.
The way Gabi handled fake Carlos, though.
That's where I was like, yep, every episode you have a moment where you're absolutely unhinged. And that was it. It was with the bat.
And then he's like, "Can you put the bat down?" And it's so funny because at the exact same
I
time,
won't be doing that.
both Gabby and Richie were like, "Nope."
I do want to say, rookie mistake on their part. Who enters a ransacked apartment like that?
Yeah.
You entered a ransacked apartment and you didn't even bother to clear the rooms together? Rookie move, people.
Don was so off his game.
What in the world? I mean, yeah, Don was off his game, but like, why is Don the only person walking through the rooms?
True. Yeah.
There was a bathroom, a kitchen that we didn't even see, the bedroom, and the living room. Like, you guys just waltzed into the living room, and then Don's like, I'll take the bedroom by myself.
Second rookie mistake. When you want to know if someone is someone, you don't yell, "Carlos." You let them tell you what what their name
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. 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 Because, yeah, of course, he's like, yeah, I'm Carlos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I am her brother. I'm looking for her. I know nothing about her,
Right.
but I'm looking for her. I know. And if Margaret had been there, all this would have been a moot point because she would have known that he was lying. It would have been so much easier.
I mean, whoever the actor was that played this guy that threw his gum away with that piece of paper, he should hide because
He
people were
really screwed
angry
some
for
stuff
so
up.
many reasons.
He really screwed some stuff up. I thought this was nice. It shed some light on a situation that does happen, and not just in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, people who are US citizens that travel sometimes are taken, and you're just traveling.
Right.
So, like, their authorities don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But this does happen in America as well. They are. Let me be careful about how I say this. They are considered easy prey for predators,
Yeah.
because if you're looking to sell someone into trafficking, who better than someone who has no footprint in America if you're taking them out of
Yep.
America? I mean, it's so sad, but it is true. It is true. It is a reality. I thought they did a great job of really handling it respectfully. They had like very careful footing in the way that they handled this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciated that. I thought it was interesting the way that they like set up the storyline that, their families fell apart while they were gone. Her brother had to go through some real heavy emotional stuff
Yeah.
that resulted. I think these are all really believable reasons that could happen without anybody like knowingly breaking the law. They handled this very delicately, and I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
really respectful. I thought it was nice, so that it didn't like further criminalize people.
Yeah.
It gave like a good, I think, reasonable explanation as to why you would lose your visa. So,
And a realistic one.
Yeah, it does happen. People come to America on student visas all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't re-up, and then they're just here. That does happen. Sometimes it's like you don't re-up. Sometimes something happens like you quit school because maybe it's not for you. And then if you don't have the financial means to get back home,
Yeah, you're just
what are you
kind of
supposed to do?
screwed. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's a tough system. It's a really tough system.
The way Margaret just came and was like, they're not related.
I know. She was like, okay, well, now I'm here. So let me just wrap this up for you. I could have solved this in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the brother. Look at this birthmark. What's wrong with you guys? Walking Dead Eternal says Margaret's the 3-eyed raven with the power she has.
For real.
Not a Game of Thrones reference, which I finally get because I finally watched it. So I did want to share that, interestingly enough, we got a comment on last week's video from someone in South Africa.
Oh.
Who was watching from South Africa, which I thought was very cool. They shared a little bit of their opinion. They shared a little bit about trafficking happening in that area. Not a ton. Just, quick comment. But I just wanted to say thank you for your comment. I did respond back. I thought that it was very cool. And it was very cool to know that this has gone international.
Right.
It was just really cool to see. So thank you for your comment. Thank you for watching. That was pretty exciting.
Very much.
Do you guys have any other questions in the chat? Because otherwise, I think we're going to kind of wrap this up. I am so tired.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to edit videos. It ain't happening. You guys, I have a spooky Halloween video, and it's just never going to come out. It's going to come out this weekend, I think. So sorry. I didn't give you anything spooktacular this year. I'm too tired, though. So, and we have to keep watching Found at unreasonable times. I really hope if this show gets renewed, it gets moved to a new time slot.
I don't understand why they put it on this slot. It's really crazy how many people really like live chat with us, because I'm like, what are you doing awake?
I don't know. NBC, I beg of you, I plead of you, move this to prime time, baby.
Yes, it is very deserving of prime time.
Okay. All right. So, questions in the chat. Walking Dead Eternal. Do you watch Cobra Kai? Walking Dead Eternal. You asked this last night too. I watched the first season of Cobra Kai. I did not watch anything else. Honestly, the amount of television watching that I have to do for my channel and also for Squawking Dead it's a fair amount in a week. And between that and work and everything else, I just don't have much time. Plus, I am a comfort show person. New show? No, thank you. The Office for the 60th time? Sure. Because I can fall asleep to that. And it's fine because I already know what happens. Currently, I'm rewatching Scrubs for like probably the 10th time. Okay, fair. Well, all right, Takeerah, do you watch Cobra Kai? Lay it out there. Give the man his answer.
And it's not because, I don't like Cobra Kai, because I love the Karate Kid, but there's like a bajillion shows, and unfortunately, like anything that involves either like a true crime type of thing or horror, sci-fi, those take preference. Like if there's one of those, I'm gonna watch those first.
True. Oh, I lied. I've been watching Invasion also. Second season of Invasion.
I need to watch Invasion.
It's really good. It's really, really good. Janessa says, do we think it's a coincidence that Gabby's dad died and then 2 months later she is reunited with her? I don't. I think she's okay. Excellent question. Thank you for bringing this up because we didn't touch on this at all. Okay.
Yeah.
Gabby's father passed. I think that she is out for vengeance because he took time away from them.
Yep.
A year, more than a year to be exact. So I think she's upset that he took that time away from them, but then also that he changed the dynamic of their relationship, because at the beginning of that episode, was it like an uncle that showed up? I don't know that they ever specified, but anyway, the executor of the estate said, I know that things were rough after you came back. So that was in reference to the fact that their relationship was really rough when she came back. And they said it's because both of you had changed during that time, because she went through the trauma of being gone and he went through the trauma of having a missing daughter. And I can only imagine, how would you be able to reconcile that?
Right.
You both went through your own things. There's going to be a lot of misunderstanding when you come back. There's maybe going to be some blame. There's maybe going to be anger and animosity and frustration. So I can only imagine how rough that would have been to try to come back together as a family. And so I think she was trying, I think this is her unhinged, messed up way of trying to regain that time. You can't get that time back, but that's what she wants.
Yeah. And the worst part about it is, in those situations, all you really do want is that person back, or to be back with that person.
Yeah.
But then when it happens, it's like awkward and weird because you haven't seen each other in so long. You probably feel like you don't even know each other anymore.
Yeah. Janessa said, and Sir was super mad that she missed her father and that she didn't see him as a surrogate father. The vibe is weird. So
weird.
is it dad? Is it like, I want to be your father, or is it I want to be your husband? I cannot tell. I guess okay, Janessa, your assumption is probably better. I like that better. It's still weird,
Yeah.
but it's less creepy in
I
a way.
think that he's Delulu and he wants to think that he's doing this because he wants a child, but his subconscious and the second child that he went to get, to me, shows his true wants and needs out of that situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Walking Dead Eternal asks, isn't that a Marvel show? There is a Marvel show called Invasion. That's not the one I'm talking about. I did watch like an episode or two of that, but it was okay. I'm kind of over the Marvel universe. MCU, it's just not hitting the same anymore. I don't know. It's like I'm exhausted. I'm over it. I'm over superheroes. Stop with the superhero content, except for Invincible. That I just want more of, and The Boys.
Hell yeah!
Take all of that. Janessa said, I don't know. I've always gotten more paternal vibes rather than lover husband, especially because he made a point that he never touched her inappropriately. I'm gonna go with yours. You know what? You've changed my headcanon. We're gonna go with this from now on. At least
I'm still on the fence.
Okay. She's still on the fence, folks. We'll see what she says next week.
I think he's a Delulu creep, and I don't know.
Richie's back in frame again. Janessa said, someone on Twitter said something like, maybe Sir lost a little sister or a daughter, and this is him trying to recreate the relationship and establish full control. Oh, I actually really like that.
I think it would be perfect for it to come full circle and for us to find out that he did this because
his daughter was taken?
Yep.
Oh. We're leaving on that brain nugget. I just said brain nugget. Who am I? I have to go. I'm literally about to fall asleep right now. There's no way I know it's not even 9, folks, but I have not gotten a full night's sleep in so long. I'm making soul cakes in the morning. I don't think I'm doing it tonight.
When you texted me, I was here, phone in hand.
We almost lost her. It was almost just me. For a night of me just, I don't know what I would do. Just saying things. All right. We're leaving on that. Mind blown. I like that. I don't often theorize, but that's a good one. That is a good one. We're going to leave you with that. And next week, we'll be meeting together again. Same time. Same bat time. Same bat channel. Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of Finding Found based on NBC's hit show Found, because it's gotten some critical acclaim now. We'll be covering episode 6. It's missing while I don't remember. I didn't look it up.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
So sorry about that.
I just have to say, Shanessa, you made it to number 2 on my Twitter circle, girl. Hey. I just had to say that.
I got it. Missing While Addicted, folks. We'll see you next week for Missing While Addicted. Okay, we love you. We'll see you next week. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks, Janessa. Thanks, Walking Dead Eternal. Thank you, Dave. Yeah. See you later, guys. Bye.